The poverty and misery he witnessed convinced him that saving lives required more than medicine. So he became a terrorist seeking to violently overthrow.
So now we're about to see TED Talks again. I believe that this whole TED Ed, you're not gonna get educated with TED Ed. You're gonna become a fucking liberal, a fucking communist. I like this shit, right? Because they do have a lot of useful shit, but like, whoever's in charge of this, it's not being honest. Now check it out. History versus Che Guevara. Let's say the good things of Che Guevara. Then mind you, you're talking to a man that I grew up with a Che Guevara poster, like not a poster, a fucking picture. My mom had a picture of Che Guevara, of Fidel Castro, of Martin Luther King. Like I'm a straight fucking commie. I used to be a straight commie ass nigga. Like all my convictions was communism. Like we should be together. All that bullshit. I live in Miami now. When I came to Miami, I learned that this guy wasn't that good. And I'm not like some guy that just takes people's word for it. I studied Che Guevara for a while because I idolized him. So I studied him as a guy that idolized him, and then I studied him as a guy that was just looking for the truth. And I didn't like what I found. Che Guevara was a monster. And we'll see why these people are not being honest. Maybe it's not that they're not being honest, they're just not looking at it the right way. They're not looking at it through the right lens. Nah, fuck it, they're being dishonest. Get the fuck out of here. They're being dishonest. Fuck out of here, dude. Once a nigga starts kidding and you're on the side, you're being dishonest. Fuck that.
His face is recognized all over the world. The young medical student who became a revolutionary icon. But was Che Guevara a heroic champion of the poor, or a ruthless warlord who left a legacy of repression? Order.
He was neither. Because he wasn't really a warlord. He wasn't a warlord. They won in Cuba. But the people won that. I don't know of any strategy that Che Guevara came up with that would have won the war for Fidel and Raul and the revolutionaries. I can't think of any. If you guys could probably help me on the comments, but I can't think of any strategy that got him out of fucking Bolivia when he was totally alone without the help of all those people. You know what I'm trying to tell you? So I don't believe this guy was a fucking war hero, or not a war hero, a warlord. Fuck out of here.
Order. Hey, where have I seen that guy before? Him. Your Honor, this is Ernesto Che Guevara. In the early 1950s, he left behind a privileged life as a medical student in Argentina to travel through rural Latin America. The poverty and misery he witnessed convinced him that saving lives required more than medicine.
He actually wrote there that the Indian of Latin America are inferior, and he hates them. La odio la indiada de Latinoamérica. Paraphrasing a little bit there, but that's what he said. You know what I'm trying to tell you? So this guy was a racist. When he went and he took that ride, he came up with two conclusions. I hate Hispanics and I hate America. But I love revolution. And it doesn't matter how much of these people need to die for my revolution to fulfill itself. It's what I'm gonna do. This guy was sick in the fucking head. I mean, read his fucking journal.
So he became a terrorist seeking to violently overthrow the region's governments. What? The region's governments were brutal oligarchies. Colonialism may have formally ended, but elites still controlled all the wealth. American corporations bought up land originally seized from indigenous people and used it for...
Okay, and who cares? That's the way the world works. Seriously. That's the way the world works. You buy things. I'm going to get into that later. I'm not going to get into that in this video. But I'll do a video about how colonialism is the way the world works. This is a biological planet. This isn't there's no angels and harps here, man. Let me tell you the truth. This isn't the way it goes. Dominican Republic is where is that today? A country where people could just eat whenever they get hungry. They could just eat because Columbus took it over. We were still been eating each other because we were cannibals when Columbus got there. So So let me not drift off. Too long. It doesn't give you just because people are prosperous and they buy lands in your country that you just happen to be born in, and they buy your land, right? I don't know what makes it yours, but they buy it. It makes it them because they bought it. They have a vision for it. Or they conquered it. It's a bloody blood world. Sometimes things are gonna get conquered and losers will lose. There's this consensus. There's this consensus that when one group of people take land from another group of people by conquering them, that the group of people that got conquered are some sort of benevolent victims. They're victims of the conquerors, but they themselves are would-be conquerors, because how the conquering happened the other way about. It would be the same thing. I'll give you a little example. If the Indians in Central and Latin America, in the New World, in North America, had superior technology and came to Europe, and it was Europe that was in the fucking Stone Age, with the way the Indians were behaving, oh my Jesus, they would have made what Columbus did look like a Sunday school Baptist picnic. These people were a lot more ruthless than Columbus could ever dream of being. When Columbus was ruthless, it was wrong in his society for him to be there. That's why the king sent people and he got in trouble, and that's why it became a shit show for him. But when the Indians killed in the Caribbean and Latin America, there was no one to answer to, because they all thought it was great. It was a way of life for them.
Profit and export, even keeping most of it uncultivated, while locals starved. Couldn't they vote to change that? Oh, they tried, Your Honor. In 19...
So, because you own land and locals starve, how is that your problem? That there's land that you bought and you don't want to use it, and locals are starving. I know that sounds harsh, but it's not. Your land. That's the government that's fucked up. It's not the United States. It's not that that's right. It's not your land. It's the government's land. And if it's your land, kick your government out. Take it over and fight for your country. A lot of these Hispanic countries, man, if you look at their history, they didn't fight for their shit. That's why they don't have shit. So that's on them. That's how I see it. That is on them. That happened. You see the Cuban people. That they don't want it to happen, so they kick those people out. That's a perfect example. Che did that.
1953, Che came to Guatemala under the democratically elected government of President Arbenz. Arbenz passed reforms to redistribute some of this uncultivated land back to the people while compensating the landowners. But he was overthrown in a CIA-sponsored coup. The military was protecting against the seizure of private property and communist takeover. They were protecting corporate profits. And Che saw that they would use the fear of communism to overthrow any government that threatened those profits. So he took the lessons of Guatemala with him to Mexico.
Can you believe people that will say that America was defending their private interests by starving people, or that they were stopping communism? I think it was a little bit of both, but I think it was most that they were stopping communism. I don't have a clear answer for that one right there. But I think the threat of communism is what these people were worried about. Communism is a beast. Is a fucking beast. And the United States know that more than anyone. Because we were cool with Uncle Joe, with Joseph Stalin. So we know what's up. That's why we're so wary of communism. It's our biggest enemy. So I don't think these people were trying to steal money from fucking South America. I mean, you always have people like that. I'm sure that happen. Things are complex. But I'm sure the majority of it was, we gotta get rid of communism. I'll give you an example. In the Dominican Republic, they didn't steal any land from anybody. They let Trujillo do whatever the fuck he wanted. See, that's bullshit. There you go. Perfect example. In the Dominican Republic, the United States had their hands all up in that bitch. They controlled Trujillo, but they didn't do anything with the Dominican Republic. In the Dominican Republic, people still say Trujillo did not let America do anything in here. We ran our country. So that's bullshit. What America really didn't allow in the Dominican Republic was communism. But they let people do whatever they want with their business. They let Trujillo do whatever he wanted. They let Trujillo kill and rape and murder. What they really didn't want was communism. Again, bullshit. It's on the fly, baby. This shit is on the fly. This just come to me on the fly.
There he met exiled Cuban revolutionaries and decided to help them liberate their country. You mean help Fidel Castro turn a vibrant Cuba into a dictatorship? Dictatorship was what Cuba had before the revolution. Fulgencio Batista was a tyrant who came to power in a military coup. He turned Havana into a luxury playground for foreigners, while keeping Cubans.
This is absolutely true, right here. As much studying as I try to do, it's complicated. You have to really be after the truth. Fulgencio Batista was probably worse than Fidel Castro. I know Cubans don't want to hear that, but it's not what they're telling me and what they feel. It's what history is telling me and what I see and what I study. Why do you think those old Cubans still like Fidel Castro? They remember Fulgencio. It's like, and you could just read about it. It's so easy to see that Fulgencio Batista was like a real fucked up dude, worse than Fidel. But you know, the Cuban people are hurt. This guy destroyed he destroyed them. So they'll never see it your way, and they get offended. You know, my friends actually get really offended at me. I can tell. I press their buttons because I'm an asshole, but I can tell they get offended. I can tell they really get offended. But it's like, it's actually, I don't like to see that in people. I don't like to see people get blocked off with emotion. But Cubans are completely blocked off with that. They will not tell you that Batista was a worse guy than Fidel, and he just was in every single way. He killed people in broad daylight. At least Fidel fucking hides him, and you know, you never hear about him again. These people will shoot you in the middle of anywhere. He was killing students. Prostitution was worse. There was crime was rampant in Cuba. You know what I'm trying to tell you? He was killing as much people as Fidel, if not more. And then there was crime everywhere. So at least Fidel has had at least his communist system, and I hate communism. But at least in Cuba, there isn't any crime and shit like that. There's some things that are doing better under these guys that they would have been under Batista, because Batista was doing nothing. He was a capitalist, but he was doing nothing for the capitalist venture of the Cuban people. It was just a monopoly in capitalism that he had with mafia buddies. So yeah, Fidel actually was a come up for the Cuban people, in my humble opinion.
Mired in poverty and killing thousands in police crackdowns. Even President Kennedy called it the worst example of economic colonization, humiliation, and exploitation in the world. Whatever Batista's faults, it can't compare to the totalitarian nightmare Castro would create. Forced labor camps, torture of prisoners, no freedom to speak or to leave. But this isn't the trial of Fidel Castro, is it?
That's absolutely true. Fidel did all that. But the people, if you talk to the old Cubans, it was still better. They still have more. Like, it's like these dictators. I'm not defending Fidel. All the dictators are the same. Some dictators create a situation that if you keep your mouth shut, you're gonna be all right. And I think that if you were poor in Cuba, I think that was the situation there for the first 20, 30 years, for the first 20 years. I think the people that fell for those bullshit and that fell for those evil were the more educated class and the people that had money. You know what I'm trying to tell you? The Cubans that came to Miami, which is why Miami is so prosperous. You know, you cut with one swoop the intelligentsia and the economic power of a country, and you concentrate them in another place. And that's what Fidel did. But for the average Cuban, even with the labor camps and the loss of freedom of speech, you know, there was a come up. Fidel brought other freedoms. People don't say that before Fidel, blacks were second class citizens. Fidel made blacks regular in Cuba. African blacks loved Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro was raised with African blacks. This shit's deep. This Cuban shit's deep. This is not. Fidel did a lot for women's rights and for black people's rights. So even though there was people getting put in internment camps for being gay, now a black guy was, you know, a fucking regular citizen, and they loved him for that. He understood the Afro-Cuban culture. Fidel did. Because he grew up with the king cutters, with the black king cutters, and the fact that him and Che Guevara locked away gay guys, you know. Caribbeans don't give a fuck about that shit. They don't now, and they definitely didn't give a fuck about that shit before. Caribbeans are not woke, man. Gays get little sympathy in the Caribbean.
Che Guevara was instrumental in helping Castro seize power. As a commander in his guerrilla army, he unleashed a reign of terror across the countryside, killing any suspected spies or dissenters. He also...
Definitely true Che Guevara killed people without trial. I mean, and even if he did a trial, what proper trial can you do with fucking Cuban hicks that don't know anything? You even if they ratted you can't kill a fucking person. You can't do it. You're not a Cuban. You're not from there. Fuck you. You don't fucking go to another fucking country that you don't fucking belong to and decide to off someone because they want to tell you authorities on you. Yeah. That shit was straight tyranny what those guys did in those mountains.
So helped peasants build health clinics and schools, taught them to read, and even recited poetry to them. His heart.
Of course. It's called fucking recruitment. You need to fucking recruit them, so you're gonna fucking do that. You know what I'm trying to tell you? And the shit that he had them reading wasn't economics. I'll tell you that right now. It was brainwashing. You need. It's like saying you're a good person because you're giving your slaves food so that they can work. This is a manipulation that Che Guevara did. Che Guevara knew this. Che Guevara understood what a dumb person was. Trust me. And he saw them coming, and he took them.
Harsh discipline was necessary against a much stronger enemy who didn't hesitate to burn entire villages suspected of aiding the rebels. Let's not forget that the new regime held mass executions and killed hundreds of people without trial as soon as they took power in 1959.
Here I descend again. The mass executions, the Cubans wanted that. I'm sorry. You would have to. Someone would have to go in the comment and like. I've researched this a lot. Most like a good. Do we like democracy or we do not like democracy? Most people fucking Cuba. One of these people executed. I mean, you have to have your head really far up your ass to not see that that's the truth. Or you have to be a Cuban that has really heard about his country being destroyed by this fucking evil guy, Fidel Castro, and your brain is cut off or you can't see it. But believe me, it's on fucking YouTube. They wanted these niggas dead, and it was a feast. They were killing these guys and they were loving it. The Cubans were in ecstasy when this was going on. It was only the ones in Miami that thought it was horrible, and that's like 0.1% of the whole Cuban population back in those days. So, hey, holds no water. Those executions, I believe the people that I executed got it coming. Even the 50-year-old kids got it coming. We're talking about Cuba. We're talking about Caribbean kids at 15 in the 1930s were fucking mad. Sorry to break it to you guys.
The executed were officials and collaborators who had tormented the masses under Batista. The people supported this revolutionary justice. Which people? An angry mob crying for blood does not a democracy make. And that's not even mentioning the forced labor camps, arbitrary arrests, and
I agree with him there that on a technical and it's technically wrong what he did, of course. You know, everybody was just angry, but it was what they wanted. The same people that fought, that welcomed Fidel, asked for the executions. They asked for the executions. They were. It's what they wanted. So who are you to? Okay, when we bomb Iraq and people die, yeah, we don't want that. But that's just the way things go. We're human, and sometimes things can be stopped. And I don't think that those executions could have been stopped. These people were fucking pissed. When you have a revolution, you're gonna have people shot. There's a reason why people are willing to die. It's because they want to shoot a motherfucker. You know? Or you're gonna tell me that we didn't shoot people in the Revolutionary War? Oh, we shot people. We shot people. Every time we win, we shoot people.
And repression of LGBT people that continued long after the revolution. There's a reason people kept risking their lives to flee, often with nothing but the clothes on their backs. So was that all this Che brought to Cuba? Just another violent dictatorship? Not at all. He oversaw land redistribution, helped establish universal education, and organized volunteer literacy brigades that raised Cuba's literacy rate to 96%, still one of the highest in the world.
That's true. Cubans are very successful people when it comes to America, and that's one of the reasons why. And the whole Latin America, they're probably the most educated because they're forced to read over there. They're forced to actually go to school. Latin Americans, you don't really have to go to school. When I was in the Dominican Republic, I never went to school. My mama sent me to school. I fucking go to the river. Straight up.
which allowed the government to control what information everyone received. Guevara's idealistic incompetence as finance minister caused massive drops in productivity when he replaced worker pay raises with moral certificates.
Communism. Fucking idiots. This guy was out of his fucking mind. How you gonna do that? How you gonna play with the economic system of the whole fucking country? How can people admire this guy? That's super irresponsible. My God. It reminds me of AOC. Like, you're gonna play with the whole economic, with the whole economy of a country. This dude is crazy. Of course, everything went to shit, and of course, they ended up shooting this fucking idiot. For the probably got fed up with this fucking idiot. Look, let's shoot this motherfucker. Vamos a darle un tiro, hijo de puta.
He suppressed all press freedom, declaring that newspapers were instruments of the oligarchy, and it was he who urged Castro to host Soviet nuclear weapons, leading to the Cuban Missile Crisis that brought the world to the brink of destruction. He was a leader, not a bureaucrat. That's why he eventually left to spread the revolution abroad, which didn't go well. He failed to rally rebels in the Congo.
That's his excuse. He was a leader, not a bureaucrat. He read so much, he was so intelligent, he should have read a little bit about fucking economics. And about how price controls is ridiculous. And how profit is actually the price you pay for efficiency.
And went to Bolivia even when the Soviets disapproved. The Bolivian government, with the help of the CIA, was able to capture and neutralize this terrorist in 1967, before he could do much damage, while doing plenty of damage themselves in the process. So that was the end of it? Not at all. As Che said, the revolution is immortal. He was publicly mourned in cities all over the world, not by the Cubans who managed to escape, and his story would inspire young activists for generations to come. Ha! A trendy symbol of rebellion.
Young activists for symbols to come, motherfucker. Las FARC. All the guerrillas, I don't know all the names. They escape me right now. But all the guerrillas in Bolivia and fucking Argentina, the Sandinistas, Las FARC, the fucking war in El Salvador, all that shit came because of this fucking fool. What people don't understand about Fidel and about Che Guevara is the damage they did in Cuba. That's just a little bit of the damage they did. The disease that they spread all over Latin America has caused so much bloodshed and atrocities. It's crazy. It's incalculable, really. So many farmers, so many people you don't even hear about that get raped and murdered because of these fucking left-wing guerrillas, and then you got the counter paramilitary guerrillas fucking fighting each other, and that's what goes on in Latin America. And that comes straight from this motherfucker. Straight from this fucking asshole. And you have people that call this fucking guy a hero. You have people that put their shirt on this guy. It's no different than wearing a Hitler shirt. It's no different.
Rebellion for those who never had to live under his regime. Symbols of revolution may become commodified, but the idea of a more just world remains. Maybe, but I'm not sharing my coffee. Che Guevara was captured and executed by government forces in Bolivia. His remains would not be found for another 30 years. But did he die a hero, or had he already become a villain? And should revolutions be judged by their ideals or their outcomes? These are the questions we face when we put history on trial.
Why is that a hard question? You fucking moron. You see how they try to brainwash you with pretty words? Fuck the ideals, it's by its outcome. I don't give a fuck how idealistic you are if you come and you shoot my fucking mom, motherfucker. The fuck? Yeah, Che Guevara, in my humble opinion, a fucking scumbag murderer. Nothing to admire about that guy, but his ability to get things done. Till next time.